So imagine that you've never gone to a restaurant, and you've grown all your own food, and you cooked all your own meals, and you had no idea that it was possible for you to have a menu to choose from. And a friend calls you up and takes you out to a restaurant, and here's, lo and behold, here's this beautiful menu, and suddenly you, for the first time in your life, realize that you have the power to choose differently. It's right there. It's revealing itself. You now have power to choose any meal you want now, and it can be manifested now. You have the power to have a different experience, but we don't know that we have the power until somebody shows it to us. So I know that some of you are not familiar, or maybe this is your first time of A Course in Miracles, and it's only 1,500 pages. I don't think we'll get it all in tonight. But what we can do is to talk about what it teaches you in such a way that you can understand the foundation of it, so that when you read it, it is your teacher, and it jumps off the page at you, and you can suddenly see what was not available for you to see before. And you suddenly realize that there's lots of new dishes in here that you didn't know were possible to be had because nobody showed you the menu before. It requires some effort. And, he says all it takes is a little willingness. I got past that. It takes a lot of willingness. You got to keep showing up. You got to keep forgiving yourself and forgiving people. You got to keep reading and interpreting and understanding and going within and asking the question, are you there? Am I really alone? Are you there? And you can feel it. You can feel it. It's there. It's presence. It's with you. And you allow it then to be expressed as you. And it overwhelms the body. The body can't manage that energy. Not yet. But stay with it. Stay with it. And the body begins to resonate at a new resonance, new vibration, a new tone. And you find yourself saying things to people that you've never said before, giving them a new meal, as it were. You find yourself being patient with people. You find yourself noticing the patterns of judgment that you've been taught and that you've been living and repeating over and over and over, and you begin to withhold them, and you begin to turn within and go, I don't have to do that anymore. I can stop it. I can stop being out of alignment with truth. And I'm already feeling the presence. Do you feel the presence? Can you just allow yourself to take this breath? Allow yourself to feel the host of angels that are entering the room with you. Your guides, you all have at least 3 guides. You don't go anywhere without them. They're always with you. And now they're celebrating because you're gathering with other brothers and sisters that are also holding this energy of love. This is a space of love. You are the light worker. You are the miracle. You are the salvation of the world. And we can feel it if we allow ourselves to feel it. We allow only that which expresses Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness is the consciousness of love. We might say a holy person would be someone who could express Christ consciousness. That would be you. Because a holy person is an incredible friend. And when you meet someone, when you gather with others, you love them for who they are, as they are, without judgment. And you give them your full appreciation, your full attention, your full awareness. And you join within, if you want to see the truth of who they are, to see them through the eyes of Christ, to join within to your higher self. We could call it the Holy Spirit. It's nothing more than your right mind. That is that part of you that is not hoodwinked by the thinking mind. It's just chatter, 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 making, and I use this word often, so you have to forgive me. I ask for forgiveness early, right? It's just making shit up, right? So we're adults, so we can say things. Language has become weaponized, but not by Spirit. Spirit has no judgment in your language, in your actions, in who you are, how you dress, how you look, how old you are, whether or not you take care of yourself or don't take care of yourself, who you hang out with, who you don't hang out with. Spirit is not judging you. You're judging you. And maybe you're judging your neighbors too. And maybe they're judging you. And it's time for us to stop it. I have to stop it. You have to stop it. The time of Christ is now because you are that one. Christ is not a person. Christ is the energy of the child of God in action. Another word for it is word. In the Bible, we start out with, there was the word. Give yourself a pat on the back. He was talking about you. The word is the energy of the Creator in action. That's you. That is the who that you are. The what that you are is that self expressing in form and field, the material world. And it's eager to be allowed by you to be expressed. Our biggest issue is that most of us, at least, are not conscious that we can do that. We think in images. If I said refrigerator, everybody got one in mind? Do you think the person sitting next to you has the same exact image that you do? Not likely, right? What about wheelbarrow? If you've never seen one before, if somebody hadn't taught you what it is, then you wouldn't know what the hell I'm talking about, right? What is that? So we're seeing everything in images. We talked about this the other night, but somebody had a bottle of water, and I said, "What is this?" And somebody said, "It's a bottle of water." So how do we know that Nora has a bottle of water up here? How do we know that's a bottle of water? We're seeing it from the past. And so we go round and round, and we spent most of the day today thinking about tomorrow, right? So we go round and round from the past to our little, what do they call those things in the road? Roundabout. We go roundabout, roundabout, roundabout and this is the thinking mind, the thinking self, and it's just doing this. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So when we take a good deep breath, let's do that now. Let's take a good deep breath. We create space. We become present. And when we do that, then we go, in my little drawing, we go vertical. This is horizontal, we go vertical. Rich knows what that is. That's just a superhighway of bullshit, right? Because we're just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and we're passing right over the present moment. And this is where God lives. This is where your true self lives. And so we've done the kind of the split mind thing. And we've been using that reference, and he said, okay, well, we can say it's on the right, whatever, but we're just saying on one side is your true self, your right mind, your higher self. What other names do we have? Holy Spirit, Source, God, all that is. And over here, we have this ego, which believes itself to be separate from everything as it travels around and around and around, making up a story, making up a dream, making up a life, making up a reality. And then we make commitment to it because we're just so hoodwinked by the thinking mind. But if we'll take the good deep breath, go within, allow ourselves to be present, and ask the question, direct our attention here to our true self, our right mind, the Holy Spirit, nothing more than our right mind, our higher self, God, Source, all that is, universal consciousness, the list goes on. But all we need to do is just simply say, are you there? And we have started the dialogue. And the next question that always enters my mind is, there must be some kind of bullshit going on, or I wouldn't be taking the time to even take a pause. My life is blah. Okay, I got to take a good deep breath. Are you there? What's the truth? And usually it's because there's some kind of drama going on or something happening. And the answer I almost always get is, well, that doesn't matter. Dreams have no effect. We can talk about A Course in Miracles and all these beautiful teachings within the Course in Miracles, but it leads us to this simple truth. Life is not what you're living. It's living you. You cannot kill anybody, and nobody can kill you. It's not possible. God didn't create death. You did. You created a reality that is so screwed up and so opposite of what reality is that it's impossible to exist in it because of the dissonance between reality and what this experience is. And so we end up recycling, going back and forth, eventually dropping out. And we could I've got a few diagrams similar to this, and I haven't introduced them to you simply because it's intellectually can be challenging. And we can break this down and we can go into it a little bit at a time. But what I want to share with you tonight is that this is really simple. You're okay. Just as you are and just as you aren't. Because you're not the dream, not the thinking self. God did not create you to be a thinker. But what are you thinking about? And what are you thinking with? So like children, when we were little, we would want to play like grown-ups and see if we had the courage to spend the night alone out in the yard away from our parents, and we'd throw a sheet over the clothesline, stake it down, and, pretend to be adults. Yeah, we're on our own, man. We're out here, we're living life, and we're separate from mom and dad, and we're doing it our way. We believe that we've actually separated ourselves from God, but all we're doing is playing a game. We said, what would it be like to play a game where we get to be God? I get to decide what I look like. I get to decide what my life is like. I get to decide who I hang out with. I get to decide who I love. I get to decide who I hate. I get to decide what I want to judge. I get to be God. I am pretending and playing a game of separation. We said love is what? Quiet, no agenda, doesn't need to puff itself up, and we say this is a joke, right? It's smart enough to remember the other three. But what's it doing? Being. So what do we have to do to get on that same frequency? Be. You need do nothing. Just be. You become a holy person. What do we say a holy person is? An incredible friend. A gift of love is a gift given with no expectation of return, right? We call that no condition. And you've heard the term, right, Rich? Unconditional love. What do you think unconditional love is? No expectation of return, no condition. And if they decide they want to cheat on you with the closest friend or the best person you ever know or whatever, is like, okay. Because the purpose, the purpose of the relationship isn't that this person completes me or makes me happy and is fixing my life and I can hide all of my deficiencies and I find it in them. And so, yeah, we're going to be great together. The purpose of the relationship is to help each other to remember to take that good deep breath first. Join with Spirit first. See the world through the eyes of Christ first. And now every expression is an expression of divine love. Tall order? You damn right. Takes practice? You better believe it. Takes a commitment with somebody else that's willing to say, you know, Matt, no matter what you do, I will allow it. It is. It is. It's very, very hard. You know what? You almost have to have. Absolutely, my dear. And you know what? You almost have to be in the consciousness of Christ to be able to do that. But how do you get in the consciousness of Christ? You don't fix up the ego. You join with the consciousness of Christ, and then ain't nothing hard about it at all. You see how that works? That's the holy instant. Then if somebody else leaves us, we don't quit loving ourselves. Right? Because the only relationship of importance, here's the bad news, more bad news, is your relationship with God. Which means it's your relationship with yourself. There ain't nobody else out there. It's all a rouge. It's a pretense. It's a game. It's the mind of the ego that says that, okay, and we're all a part of the construct, right? But we're going to say that these are levels of sanity as we define it. And most of us are operating up here in the star land. So they're insane, and what about these people up here? We're not. We're not, right? This is just a construct of the ego. If you're sleeping and dreaming of an existence that doesn't exist, I'm sorry, no matter what line and level you put on it, and no matter how you judge this person or that person or that person or that person in your dream, it's all still a dream. So until you wake up from the dream, you do not, capital K, know sanity. The ego, bad news, cannot know sanity. It just pretends that other people are insane when they don't act the way it acts. And when you go to the insane asylum and you're walking through there, make no mistake, those people in there think you're the one that's insane. You're the one walking through the insane asylum. They are us. We're the ones judging what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad, what's high, what's low. Again, and you're right, the ego cannot know. Remember? The ego, the I-go, does not know. It supposes, it projects, it imagines, it does all those things. Because if it's something that doesn't understand, you better be afraid of it, because its basis for life and the world and its perception is all based on false evidence appearing real, right? So of course, when you get right to the gate of knowing, it's going to jerk you back and say, well, you might be possessed over there. You better not go over there. Just all I can say is what Jesus said. Trust me. I can't do it for you. I can point to the door, but you got to walk through it. And you're going to walk right up against it, and you're going, and you're going to quit listening to the voice of truth, and you're going to turn around, and you've done it many times, we all have, and you turn around and you go, well, I know better. I'm going to wait until I figure it out. And the ego, once again, has tricked you and brought you right back to the insane asylum. And you are complicit and confident that you made the right choice. The person that flew the damned airplane into the building believed in that moment that that was the very best choice they could make. And we can judge it and say, no, it wasn't a good choice. But the truth is, we don't know. We don't know how many of our brothers and sisters gave us an example that day of our frickin' insanity. And we want to blame the person in the plane instead of taking responsibility for our very own thinking that's being reflected back to us from the world out here. I sound like a preacher. I'm not a preacher. But I am passionate. Because I can tell you, let's get to first base and we're going to make it. But we might say, let's go to first base together, but my experience has been that we'll get about halfway there and turn back. So I'm trying to help you get all the way around the bases so that maybe you'll make it to first base before you give up. You see the journey. You see the truth. You know who you are in the eyes of God, that you are perfect, neither behind the point of perfection nor advancing toward it, and allow yourself to have that as a knowing experience. Trust me, my brother, people are going to be asking you the very same questions you're asking today, and they're going to look at you and they're going to have doubt. I will tell you that when you have this experience of braided mind, of joined mind with the heart and love of God, you'll know. There's no question. And you're the gatekeeper. You get to decide. And so when you go into meditation, just do something really simple. Put your training wheels on and say, I only want to be in communication with the highest spirit. Tonight, we started out with a short prayer, and I simply said this: let's allow only that which expresses Christ consciousness to be in our experience tonight here in this room. You are the gatekeeper. You cannot be possessed. You cannot be attacked. God is not even possessing you. God's saying, wake up from the illusion of listening to the small self that is not who and what you are. So let's take a good deep breath. And I want to say thank you so much for everybody joining tonight. I'm amazed that you come back, but I love that you do. I love you. I can only tell you that it's the truth. I feel it. You feel it. Turn to the person next to you and just simply look them in the eye for just a moment. Take a good deep breath and look them with sincere honesty and truth in your communication with each other as you gaze into each other's eyes, and just simply say, all right, I love you. Once again, I love you. I love you. You feel that? I love you. I love you. You see? I love you. You see how powerful that is? That's the truth that we're standing on. We're standing on the truth. And it's just that simple. I love you. And now you find yourself in the upper room, wherever you are. You're the light. And I am honored to be in your presence. God bless you. Thank you so much for being here.